So yes, the impermanence of life. It's the saddest thing I find about being a human being. But maybe it's also the most poetic, and I'm finally starting to catch a glimpse of the beauty of that.
You took my hand and pulled me out of reach from my hopes and dreams. You played your part, you fooled me. Didn't want to face reality. And all the tangles of our past are smoke and ashes now. Forgive and remember, it's the only way to be when you're me in times like these. Forgive and remember, it's the only way to see what is real. To be free, to be free.
I just really hope that we can come back here when we need to. And I don't mean physically.
You want it only your way. Otherwise you said you couldn't stay. You're so unsure of who you are. You turned something good into playing games. And all the tangles of our past are smoke and ashes now. Forgive and remember, it's the only way to be when you're me in times like these. Forgive and remember, it's the only way to see what is real. To be free. I'm free 'cause I wanna be, and I've forgiven you, no need to speak. Grievous words stir up anger.
So, this is what we call a perfect morning. Hey? The Perfect Morning by Mark and Juliana. First things we do is go get on our bike. You guys ever watch Sons of Anarchy? This is Mark of Anarchy.
What?
Then we take a little bike ride across the island to a sacred waterfall. At this waterfall, we practice yoga.
So here's our little spot for the yoga practice this morning. So every morning we start our day at this most magical place in Kood, this waterfall. No matter how we're feeling that morning, it's like when you come here, all your worries get washed away and you just feel this sense of peace.
Love is true, love is kind. Love will last till the ends of time. Love it lives and love it dies. But you always find it in our lives.
Is it on my face?
We're all brought to love.
We've had a lot of crazy times on this trip so far. There was a moment where I think we had to learn to find the balance in ourselves again and, remind ourselves that the morning is the time for us. And
Even if it takes 2 hours out of our morning just to have that time to swim in a waterfall, to do yoga here, to write in our books, it truly sets the tone of your day and it sets the tone of your mind. So it's really, really important for us, and it's really sad that we're not gonna have a waterfall for the rest of our lives to go to, but I think it's also just a lesson that no matter where you are in the world, even if you're in the middle of a winter storm somewhere in Canada, taking an hour for yourself each day is really, really important.
And we tend to forget that a lot.
Yeah, sometimes we'll wake up and, you know, we do these mistakes sometimes where the first thing you do when you get up in the morning is you open up your email account. It just like starts your day in like such a weird anxiety, panic, because you're just like thinking about the amount of things you have to do, and it's such a bad habit that we used to have.
And we catch ourselves doing it a lot.
Yeah.
And for just the forgetting that the morning can be a time to set your day,
Yeah.
rather than jump head first into it. Then, because we know the secret to waterfalls in touristy places, go first thing in the morning. Hopefully we can go for a secluded swim in a sacred waterfall and come back home for breakfast.
We're all caught in love. We're all brought to love. Something now and then.
Belly to belly, face to face. Those eyes you take me to the start, sweetheart, sweetheart. See me through and you polish me up.
So we are constantly on a hunt for the coolest, most beautiful place to shoot a yoga or Pilates video.
I'm a kid again.
And today we found a very magical place. It's called Kham, and it is just this beautiful, small little island just outside of Kham, and it's truly heaven on earth. There's like 2 people on here right now.
We met a Swiss girl with a boat who was going to drive us around, but she was charging too much money. And she told us that there was a beach on the back side of this island that no one would be on. So we spent the last 2 hours hiking through the jungle,
Getting eaten by mosquitoes.
looking for this beach, and finally gave up and came down here. And I played charades and asked the guy who works at the the hut that collects 100 baht per person to clean the beach to take care of this island. And he told me I think he told me there's no beach on the other side. So if you're watching this, Swiss girl, do you think that was funny? I'm not laughing. I'm really tired, and I got a lot of mosquito bites. I got a mosquito bite on my earlobe. Who gets a mosquito bite on their earlobe?
It's a beautiful island.
Swiss girl, what's up with you?
Don't blame the Swiss girl. It's not her fault.
What's up with it? Did I miss the joke? Okay.
We're all caught in love. We're all brought to love. Something now and then.
So we just rented our bike to location scout and kind of get around the island a little bit, and this is what they gave us. A Scoopy bike. Not Snoopy, not Hello Kitty. Scoopy. Mark is really thrilled to be driving a pink bike.
It won't fail and it won't cease. Love can hold on.
Scoopy failed us.
But what we can do now is bring ourselves back here.
Yeah.
And that's important. I mean, I do that a lot with my cottage. We talk about that. When I'm meditating or when I need to find that peaceful place, I try and project myself back on my deck by the lake. It gives me a sense of peace and grounding that I find I often need because this world is so crazy. We're constantly putting all kinds of pressure on ourselves. We're constantly trying to do more and, more videos. You get so tied up no matter what you're doing, wherever you are, that finding that place, and I think I'm going to use this waterfall a lot more because it reminded me about the necessity of grounding and balance. And
So, it taught us a really good lesson. You don't need a waterfall to help you realize that self-care is really important. It's really important for everybody to take at least an hour. It doesn't have to be in the morning, it could be at night, and just do something that feels and heals yourself. May that be yoga or even going for a run or writing or listening to good music. Whatever it is, just taking that moment just to turn everything else off and just be happy and feel alive. Whatever that is that makes you feel alive.
We're all brought to love, something now and then. We're all caught in love. We're all brought to love, something now and then.
I think we learned something, or were reminded once again about the idea that in this life and in this world, even the most perfect places won't be there with you forever. And sometimes that means it's the place next to somebody, or sometimes that means an island off the coast of Thailand near Cambodia called Kood or Kham. But your time that you spend in those places or with those people, the perfect people, the ones, the family, the loved ones, the four-legged friends that just touch your soul so deeply. It's those moments that when you're in it, you just have to remember how perfect they are later. You can't hold on to them and make them last forever, but you can hold on to them inside of you forever. So yes, the impermanence of life. It's the saddest thing I find about being a human being. But maybe it's also the most poetic, and I'm finally starting to catch a glimpse of the beauty of that.
Forgive and remember, it's the only way to be when you're me. Times like these. Forgive and remember, it's the only way to see what is real. To be free, to be free. To be free.